Man, phones were huge back then, and all they ever did was call people. Lady Bird, directed and written by Greta Gerwig. It stars, oh God, I hope I get this name right, Saoirse Ronan, and Laurie Metcalf, Tracy Letts, and Lucas Hedges. This film is kind of a hard thing to pin down specifically in a common narrative structure. I can't really call it anything more than a kaleidoscopic look in the year of a life of a girl on the cusp of adulthood. Specifically, you have Lady Bird. She lives in Sacramento, California. She's a Catholic schoolgirl, and the thing I found very fascinating here is that most other movies always want to paint some kind of antagonist. There always has to be an antagonist. And between this and Three Billboards, which I just did a review on, check that, it was nice to see two movies that just want to focus on life and the way people react to things and just the way people naturally interact. And I gotta say, the triumph of this movie, which really surprised me, was how naturalistic it was. The dialogue interplay, I suspect some improv may have been involved here, but if it was written, I'm going to be immensely impressed, because between the dialogue interplay, particularly between Saoirse Ronan and Laurie Metcalf as mother and daughter, is absolutely fresh and is so... I the best words I can describe this whole movie are natural and real, because everything about this film just felt like you felt like a fly on the wall, or just a fly in the general vicinity. I just felt like I was watching life happening. In life, we make stupid decisions. If you even go back to your youth, you go back to when you were in high school yourself, you think that you were an angel. Bullshit. I guarantee you have done some stupid things which you probably thought you came out of it smelling like roses, or you thought you were right by it. Take the time to go back and think about some of the dumb things you may have done. And the amazing thing that Lady Bird does is that it shows a character, the main character, Christine, who prefers to go by Lady Bird. She wants things, she has desires, she has a good friend, but during the course of this, she does some dumb things. She starts wanting to hang out with the rich kid, the popular rich kid. She wants to go off and do new amazing things, not thinking about how other people are going to be affected by it. And in most other movies, the way that scene would be written, in the hands of more ham-fisted writers, immediately you would utterly detest the main character. But because this writing, and because the direction, and because of all the acting, there was never once where I was going, "You's a bitch." I was going, no, you are a person who is trying to get her head on straight about how she wants to live, and if she can. There was so many things here which I was going, I can't blame her parents, because they aren't well off, and even with scholarships going to college, it's still a big ask. And this film also takes place in 2003, just 2 years after 9/11. Lady Bird wants to go to college in New York, and a lot of people are paranoid about New York around this time for obvious reasons. So interesting artistic choice, just setting it in a seemingly innocuous time like 2003, because you think in your head that it's not too far off from ourselves. But then when I sat down and watched it, the more I was getting into it, here I was going, no, even 14 years ago was a different time. I have to applaud this film for just wanting to be a portrait of a time, but not just a time being in 2003, but just a portrait in the time of these people's lives. The acting is especially incredible. This entire cast has a great, I don't want to say chemistry, but there's just such a great camaraderie between everyone around them. Awards-worthy performances definitely have to go to Laurie Metcalf and Saoirse Ronan. And Saoirse Ronan, I have not seen a bad performance out of her yet. Even when she's just like kind of like a sub character, she still stands out. I mean, she was actually one of my favorite things in Grand Budapest Hotel. Laurie Metcalf, I will be damned if this woman has been under the radar so many times. Of course, most people love her from Roseanne. I actually thought she was one of the standout things in Scream 2. And every time I see her, I'm always delighted to see her, because I feel that there's a well of talent that this woman has that's not being used. But this movie found it, used it. I hope against hope, that there's some awards consideration for it. Now, I'm gushing, but I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't as personally connected to it. I didn't really feel the emotions that I know a lot of other people are gonna feel on it, and that's fine. That is absolutely fine. If anyone comes to me and tell me that they were bawling with this movie, that is great, because you are who it was made for. I definitely connected with. I think if there's anything I'm going to applaud about this movie, it's the artistry, because the artistry is abundant. Greta Gerwig, this is an amazing debut, and I hope you do more. But for myself, it didn't resonate with me the way it should. Now, I'm not going to wonder whether or not I was the target audience. I don't want to think about that. I'd rather just want to see a well-made film illustrating something that maybe I've never really thought about or never really seen before. And you know what? Compared to other coming-of-age movies and compared to other life in high school movies, this was leaps and bounds ahead of a lot of other things I've seen. So, you know what? To that, mission accomplished. It just probably won't be in my top 10 this year, but I will absolutely advocate it if it's on your top 10. I'm tempted to forego with the serving scale, but you know what? For your edification, I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and I'm going to give Lady Bird a perfect score of... Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think there are better films that tackle the subject of oncoming adulthood? Do you feel that this film is overrated as hell? Leave it in the comments below. And for more addictive content on Narcotic Casserole, simply like, share, subscribe, click. Thou shalt be served.